Welcome back to another exciting Learn to Read Thai tutorial. There must be tremendous anticipation whenever you see a notification that I've done a new video. The last one was a bit of a marathon. I hope that today is a little easier. Just a quick recap initially. And the nice thing about Thai is that basically it's just consonants and vowels, the same as English. I haven't got a clue how Chinese works, but it looks fairly difficult to me. But Thai, relatively easy. So we've done some vowels already, and as you will have seen, for each vowel there's a long and a short version. So let's just do a quick recap. We've got the sara it, which makes a short I sound, as in pin or lip. And then when you see that same sort of basic shape with a little line at the end, it's the long vowel, the E, so leap. And then this vowel, it's written two ways, but it doesn't matter which way it's written, it's the same sound. It's just one version is for syllables that have a final consonant, and this version is for syllables that don't have a final consonant. And it just makes like a U sound, like in cut. And then we've got the long R vowel, as in cart. And the short U vowel, as in foot, also in put, but English uses a U for that sound. And the long Oo, as in food. And today we're going to do two more vowels. We've got a short version and a long version. And one of the problems with English speakers learning Thai and vice versa, and also yet another problem with transliteration, is that there are some sounds in Thai that just don't exist in English. So when you have a sound that doesn't exist, how do you transliterate it? How do you write it? It's very difficult, and all the methods are really unsatisfactory. But the basic sound is sort of the sound you would make if you stepped in something nasty in the park, like an So this short one is like an sound, short, and this one is basically the same sound but longer. And when I first got to Thailand, I signed up for a 20-hour conversation course. And when my teacher told me words that use these vowels, I didn't know anything about written Thai at the time. I just wrote in my notes, it was the wide mouth frog sound. I think years ago there was a joke about a wide mouth frog. So when you say these vowels, you need to get your mouth very wide, as you'll see in examples later on. Now, in an ideal word, at this stage, I would like to pull in a Thai person to give you the correct pronunciation and tones, because I know that my pronunciation and tones are not good. I did that with the first tutorials on this channel. I got my wife involved, but at the moment it's just impossible to get us together. Whenever I have free time to do this, she's never free, and vice versa, so she's just not available, and there's no other Thai person that I can get in. So I'm afraid you have to put up with my poor pronunciation, but I'll do it as best as I can. So I've just done 3 examples using each vowel, and in brackets I've put the tone. So this first word, it's the Thai word for one, and the whole heap is just there for tone purposes. It's not voiced. So the actual initial consonant sound is this no, the N sound. The final consonant is the ngong, the NG, and then we have this short vowel. So it makes like a sound like ning, with a low tone. This word here, tung. It's not tung as in bag. It's tung, and it means to arrive. And it's got a rising tone. Tung. This The tones are very, very difficult in Thai. It takes a long time to get them right, and I've been doing this for a long time and I've still not got them right. Third example, the initial consonant is the do dao. This is the sort of cross between a D and a T. Then we've got the short vowel, and then the final consonant is a go guy, which makes an unreleased K sound as a final consonant. So, and that's a word for building. It's not a word I usually use. I usually use akan, but you do see this word on signs when a building is for sale or rent. So moving across to the long this word here, initial consonant the lo-ling, the L, and final consonant the nonu N, and the long so falling tone. So falling tone, we'll try to put some energy into the beginning of the word and then let it fall off. So loon, and that means like to slip or slippery. Next word, same initial consonant, the lo-ling L, but a different final consonant. This is the mo-ma M, and it's got a mid-tone, loom, which just means to forget. You forgot something. And final example, we have the yo-yak initial consonant, the Y, then the long vowel, and the final consonant is the do-dek, which makes an unreleased T sound as a final consonant. So you, and that's falling tone again, so I need to try and put some energy into the beginning and let it tail off. So you, which means to stretch something. Those were examples of the vowels used by themselves, and with regard to vowel combinations, I don't believe there are any vowel combinations with the short vowel, but there are with the long vowel. And when you see that long vowel used in combination with this one here, the sara a and the or ang, it makes it like an sound, like 2 syllables. But Thais will tell you it's not 2 syllables. I passed my daughter one day who was doing some homework looking at Thai words, and she had to write how many syllables they had. And she read out a word that used this vowel combination, and she said it's got 1 syllable. And her mother said, oh yeah, that's right. And her mum's friend was here at the time, who is actually a Thai teacher at her school. And she said, yeah, that's right, 1 syllable. And I had an argument with them that has got 2 syllables, but they wouldn't have it. They insist it's 1 syllable. Anyway, if you see that vowel combination with the initial consonant sort of in the middle, and if there's a final consonant, it'll be afterwards, it makes an sound. And this is a photo I took a long time ago at Songkhla Zoo of a tiger. And the Thai word for tiger is sura, with a rising tone. You'll see we've got the so sura, initial consonant in the middle, followed by that vowel combination. Sura. Here are some examples with that vowel combination. So the one we first looked at, sura, tiger, and this is where it starts to get interesting with tones in Thai, and tones are very difficult because the same basic sound with a different tone can mean something completely different, and that applies to lots and lots of words. It's probably not as bad as people think, because when you speak in sentences, there's a context. So even if you get the tone wrong, people should understand what you mean. But with just single words, if you don't get the tone right, then Thais won't understand what you mean. So you can see here we've got 3 words with the same basic sound. That, you know, it's got an S initial consonant, then the vowel combination. But this one hasn't got a tone mark. This one's got the second tone mark, and this one's got the first tone mark. So the second word has got a falling tone, so I need to put energy into the start of the word, then let it drop off. Sura, which means shirt, And then this final one has got a low tone, which means mat. And over here, we've got some examples of that vowel combination that's got a final consonant as well. So these examples didn't have a final consonant, but these ones have. So the initial consonant is actually a consonant cluster. It's like a KR, kor, kwai, ro, and then the final consonant is the NG sound, ngor, krung, krung. Krung bin. Bin means to fly, and krung bin is an airplane. And another thing about Thai is that the same word, exactly the same word, can have many different meanings, not related to each other. So in this example, krung bin, krung is like a machine that flies. And a car engine is krung yon. You know, again, it's a machine. But krung can also just mean things. So in this second example, we've got krung, and then the second part uses the long vowel. It's got a dordek initial consonant, morma final consonant, doom, a krung doom. Doom is the word to drink, and so krung doom are things to drink. So if you go into a restaurant, you look at the menu, at the end there'll be a section called krung doom, which are the drinks, the beverages. And final example, we haven't done this consonant yet. This one's called cho chang, and sometimes in Thai it makes like a CH sound, and sometimes it makes an SH sound. I said before that Thai was a lot more consistent than English, but there are a few inconsistencies. So we've got that. In this case, it's like a SH initial consonant, then the vowel combination, and then we've got a gogai as a final consonant, and as a final consonant it makes an unreleased K sound. So shiak, shiak. And that word, it means string, but it's also the classifier for elephants. So if you want to say like two elephants, you say chang, song, shiak. I'll do something on classifiers later. Right, let's look at a few real life examples. And this word here, you'll hear a lot in Thailand, especially if you're a man and you get involved with Thai women. They will tell you kitten. So the first word, ko kwai sarae to dek, like kit, to think. And then tung, we've got the to tung initial consonant, then the short vowel, and then the final ngongu ng consonant. Kitten, and it just means to miss you. There's a lot of insincerity, I can't even say it, insincerity in Thailand, especially if there's money involved. You know, if a Thai female thinks that you're a good source of money, then she will miss you a lot. I'm sorry to sound cynical here, but it's the truth, and it's just the way it is in Thailand. Here's a real world sign using a real world font of one of the examples I just gave you. This is krung doom, which are drinks. So it's obviously a sign outside of a shop selling drinks. This will be a sign advertising some kind of miraculous slimming drink. You know, drink our coffee and you'll lose several kilograms of weight in no time at all. Again, it's a real world sign, so real world fonts, which you'll have to get used to. And the first word, I haven't done this yet, but the Warwan character that's written as a backward C here can also be used as a vowel. It makes an ua sound. And this word begins with that sound. So as I said before, when a word begins with a vowel sound, you need to write the zero consonant here. And the final consonant is the non-u-n sound, so that's uan, which means fat. And then the second word, again, it starts with a vowel sound. It starts with that short sound. So we need to write the zero consonant. And the final consonant is a dordek, which sounds like an unreleased T as a final consonant. So that's And again, this word also starts with a vowel sound. It starts with that short so it's a zero consonant again. Dordek final consonant, the unreleased T sound, so up. So uan, up. And uan means fat, and up just like means to feel uneasy, to feel uncomfortable about something. You'd probably feel uncomfortable if you were too heavy. This sign rather amused me. If you couldn't read any Thai, you wouldn't have a clue what they were talking about. You know, pig machine in. If you can read the Thai and you understand a bit about the Thai language, you can work out what's going on. So, pig machine in. What's that? And if you look at the Thai, you see krung. There's a vowel that you can't see just underneath the awning here. Krung, nai, mu. So, mu is pig. That's this word. And as I said before, Thais don't use the word for pork, which is mu. They just use mu, which is pig. Okay. Now the rest of it, krung nai. Now what I said earlier about the word krung, it can mean machine, but it can mean just things. And in this case, it just means things. So, nai means inside. So what it really means is things inside. Things inside what? It's things inside the body, internal organs. You know, the English word will be offal, kidney, liver, heart, those sort of things. So this food shop is selling food made from pig offal. But instead of writing pig offal here, they've obviously thought it'd be clever to sort of advertise in English as well. So they've just looked in the dictionary and they said, oh yeah, krung machine. So they've just done a translation from the dictionary, but it's the wrong translation. So it's come out as pig machine in. Another example of this, the Thai word for sheep, gat, is the same word as to like unwrap something, to open something. And I got into a conversation with a online vendor, I think through Lazada, and I wanted something sent, and I didn't want them to open the box. I just wanted, to receive the box as it came out of the factory. So they sent me a message telling me they wouldn't open it, and the message says no sheep. So they've looked up the word for like gat, like to open, but they've got the wrong translation. They use sheep, so they just told me no sheep. Again, if you didn't understand anything about Thai, you'd be quite confused. But when you do understand a little bit about Thai, then you can understand the mistake. Just one more example, and this is a handwritten sign. It's actually something I saw outside of my daughter's school. And in Thailand, it's certainly not everyone. There's a lot of good people, but there are some people whose behaviour is just obnoxious. Like with regard to throwing litter, they'll just open their car door or window and just like throw garbage out anywhere. And outside the school, there's a grassed area, and it's just full of dog crap. People walk their dogs and just let their dog crap on the grass, and they don't clear it up, and it's just disgusting. And some of the students feel the same way as I do. It's disgusting. So they've written a sign. So let's go through the sign. So the first word, nu means mouse or rat, but it's used by sort of young girls as a pronoun. So instead of saying I, they will refer to themselves as mouse. I think this is to sort of show the hierarchy in Thai society, that by calling themselves mouse, they're very inferior to the adults they're talking to who are superior. Okay, my yag. Yag is like to want, and my yag is like don't want. So these girls don't want. Yep. Yep means like to tread in. And then ud, it's just that short vowel sound on its own. But as I said, you can't just use the vowel. You have to write the zero consonant as well. So we've got the zero consonant, and then that short sound, and that actually means like feces. It's quite a polite. There's several words as there are in most languages, and that's a polite word for feces. Sunak, and I think I said in a previous video that sunak is the sort of formal word for dog. The common word is ma. So no, the girl doesn't want to step in dog crap, basically. Go to Rongrian when they're going to school, and they felt strongly enough about this issue to write and put up a sign. And I hope the dog owners see the sign and do something about their behaviour. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, all of that stuff. If you have any comments, questions or other feedback, please leave them below, and I'll see you again soon.